As we continue our journey of transformation, where we seek to uncover the secrets that lead us from scarcity to the full blossoming of prosperity, wealth, and abundance, today, we encounter a teaching that resonates across the decades. We are ready to explore the principles of a true master in practical metaphysics, Florence Scovel Shinn. Did you know that the most successful individuals, those who seem to effortlessly attract wealth and abundance, know and apply a powerful secret, even if they don't vocalize it? Now pause for a moment and imagine if I told you there's a simple ritual of just 7 seconds that can revolutionize your financial life and eliminate, once and for all, the scarcity that persists in your reality. This may sound like an exaggerated promise or a distant fantasy, but stay with me. What you will discover today has the power to radically transform your relationship with money and, consequently, with abundance in your life. We are talking about something that goes beyond magic tricks or deceptive formulas. It's a fundamental principle that is surprisingly simple. Ask yourself, how many times have you found yourself complaining about the cost of something? Or repeating phrases like, money doesn't grow on trees, or I'm broke? Although these statements may seem harmless and reflect only the current reality, they carry immense power over your life. They are direct commands to the universe. And remember, the universe, being a faithful mirror, reflects back precisely what you affirm. It's no wonder that many people spend their lives trapped in cycles of financial struggles, always battling against lack. The problem is not in external conditions, but rather within you, in how you talk, think, and feel about money. Florence Scovel Shinn teaches us that the word is the magic wand of human beings. What does this really mean? It means that everything you affirm, consciously or unconsciously, ends up shaping your reality. Money is more than just paper, coins, or numbers in a bank account. It is a vibrant energy, a dynamic flow, a movement that responds directly to your beliefs and expressions. Reflect. Every time you hold a bill in your hands and release a complaint, or pay a bill with a sigh of frustration, you are sending a command to the universe of scarcity. It's like saying, bring me more situations in which I feel tight, stuck, and limited. And guess what? That's exactly what the universe delivers. How many times have we discussed this here on the channel? Every word you pronounce and each thought you hold shapes your financial destiny. Discovering the ritual of abundance. Now, allow me to share a revelation that few dare to discuss. There is a simple ritual that takes just 7 seconds, yet possesses the extraordinary ability to completely reprogram your relationship with money. It's as if you are starting a conversation with the energy of money in a new language, a language of abundance instead of scarcity. Imagine a scenario where every time you touch money, whether receiving change, paying a bill, holding a bill in your hand, or even visualizing your balance in your banking app, you plant a seed of wealth in your mind and your energetic field. This may seem magical, but don't be fooled. It's a manifestation of the principle of cause and effect, supported by neuroscience and practical spirituality, a perfect fusion of faith and rationality. To understand this better, think about how our brain operates. It is a repetition machine, which means that whenever you reaffirm an idea or pattern, you are solidifying neural connections that become automatic. If you go through life saying, I don't have money, your brain creates a pathway that always leads to scarcity. However, when you begin to affirm new phrases, especially in moments of emotion, such as when dealing with money, you open new neural pathways, paths that lead to prosperity. This isn't magic. It's the science of the mind. It's neuroplasticity, a concept that Florence Scovel Shinn presented long before science fully validated it. Recently, neuroscientists have been discussing how the language we use shapes our perceptions, actions, and ultimately, our material reality. Before we reveal the ritual itself, it is essential to understand a fundamental aspect. Everything begins with awareness. Most people live on autopilot, complaining without realizing it, uttering negative phrases without reflecting, and reinforcing scarcity without noticing. The importance of awareness. Consider this example. A woman used to say frequently, "Money slips through my fingers." What happened? Every time she received some funds, an unexpected expense would arise. a medical bill here, a car problem there, and that money would literally disappear. However, upon learning to replace that mantra with "money flows freely in my life, always returning multiplied," her reality began to change. The difference was not in the external world, but in the energy she began to emit. And the universe, like a mirror, simply responded, "Now you are ready to receive." Florence taught us, faith opens the way where there is no way. That's what this ritual does. It opens connections where there was previously only scarcity. Now, visualize this scene. You take a bill in your hand, take a deep breath, and hold it for a few seconds. Instead of thinking, "This won't lead to anything," or "It's just going away," close your eyes, feel the energy of money, and mentally affirm a powerful phrase. It doesn't have to be something grand. What matters is that the intention is genuine. This is the power of 7 seconds. The power of words. You might be wondering, does this really work? By allowing yourself to question, you are starting to open up to the possibility of this transformation. See, words shape our thoughts, which in turn shape our emotions. Through the key of thought, you mold actions and consequently, the results. Everything begins in the invisible realm. When a seed is planted, you don't see the tree on the first day, but the possibility is already there, waiting for nourishment. The 7-second ritual works in a similar way. Every time you touch money and affirm abundance, you water that seed. Initially, it may seem like nothing is changing, but gradually, you will begin to notice new opportunities, new ideas, as if life starts conspiring in your favor. And remember, the opposite also applies. If, with every touch of money, you complain or feel fear, you are watering the seed of scarcity. Florence Scovel Shinn taught us that it is not money that brings abundance, but the awareness of abundance that attracts money. Now imagine applying this ritual repeatedly. Each time you touch money, whether paying for coffee, withdrawing from an ATM, transferring through your phone, or receiving change, each of these interactions becomes a golden opportunity to shape your mindset. Transforming reality in 7 seconds. All you need is 7 seconds. 7 seconds of intention, faith, and reprogramming. It may seem little, but how many seconds have you already spent complaining about the lack of money in your life? Every time you say, "I can't," "I don't have," or "it won't work," you are writing a script for failure. However, each time you affirm, "I attract abundance," or "money flows freely in my life," you are writing a script for success. You are the protagonist of this story. You decide what role to play. Go ahead, try this. The next time you touch money, whether it's a coin, a bill, or your debit card, pause for 7 seconds, take a deep breath, and mentally whisper, "I am a magnet for infinite abundance." Treat it as a personal test. You don't need to fully believe it at first. Plant that intention. For once sown, this seed possesses an extraordinary power to grow and flourish. As you apply this ritual, you will start to notice that the money which once seemed to slip away begins to flow in a new way, lighter and more abundant. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. When you change the way you speak, you change the way you think. And when you change your thinking, you modify your emotions. When your emotions are transformed, you open the space for new actions, opportunities, and ultimately, new results. Now that you understand the power behind words and consciousness regarding money, it's time to dive even deeper into this ritual. Understanding the technique is essential, but the real power emerges when you perceive it as a link that reprograms not only your mind, but also your energy and the way life responds to you. For those seeking additional wisdom that resonates with these principles, names such as Abraham Hicks and Louise Hay offer valuable lessons about the connection between thoughts, emotions, and the manifestation of the desired reality. By incorporating these philosophies into your life, you will find yourself surrounded by spiritual support that can amplify your intentions and strengthen your journey toward prosperity. Florence Scovel Shinn always emphasized that scarcity is not just the absence of money. It is, in essence, a state of mind, a way of perceiving the world. See, there are people with high salaries who insist on complaining, always affirming that nothing works, and continue to feel lacking. On the other hand, there are those who, even with modest incomes, live with a sense of abundance because they have learned to respect and honor every cent that crosses their hands. Thus, if you believe that you need to earn more to feel abundant, you are starting down the wrong path. The true secret lies not in how much you receive, but in how you relate to and speak about what is around you. And it is precisely there that the 7-second ritual comes into play. The emotion behind money. When you hold a coin or a bill, what emotions arise? For many, the feeling is neutral, like a simple piece of paper. For others, it may bring anxiety, a constant thought that this is not enough. And for some, even anger or contempt, with beliefs such as money only brings problems or money causes fights. If money is, as Florence stated, energy, what happens when you send those negative emotions toward it? You repel it, creating a vibration of rejection. It's as if you are saying to money, I don't trust you. I don't want you around. And the result is clear. Money moves away, becoming scarce. The 7-second ritual is the antithesis of this, transforming mechanical acts into sacred moments. This simple gesture transforms an everyday act, such as paying a bill or receiving change, into a sacred act. That little moment is a powerful opportunity to plant a new reality of abundance. 7 seconds are enough to interrupt the autopilot, take a deep breath, and align your words and emotions with a new order for the universe. The phrase you choose in that moment is the key to this transformation. When you say, I am a magnet for infinite abundance, this is not just a sequence of words aimed at optimism. It carries a powerful vibration. Each word is chosen with purpose. The I am is the most potent affirmation that exists, for it defines identity. Everything you put after I am becomes a reality under construction. For example, if you say, I am poor, the universe echoes that belief. But by affirming, I am a magnet for infinite abundance, you are shaping a new identity, a new frequency. The power of conscious repetition. Now, you may be thinking, can simply repeating a phrase really change my life? The answer is that it's not just about repetition, but repetition with awareness and intention. Our brain works with triggers, and peak receptivity moments arise when we are in direct contact with the thing we want to reprogram. In this case, money. Imagine creating the habit of affirming abundance every time you touch money. In this way, you are leveraging these pivotal moments to reinforce new patterns. It's like planting seeds in fertile soil, rather than tossing them onto asphalt. Before we continue, let me share 2 inspiring accounts of women who transformed their lives by adopting this practice. Account 1. Sarah Johnson, 32 years old, Prosper, Texas. Let me share my inspiring story. My name is Sarah Johnson, and for years I struggled with financial issues. I would wake up every morning feeling a weight on my chest about how I would pay the bills. One day, I heard about the 7-second ritual inspired by the teachings of Florence Scovel Shinn and decided to give it a try. At first, I admit I felt strange. The first time I held a bill, I thought, this is ridiculous. How can a simple affirmation change my life? But I was determined to change. While paying a bill or making a purchase, I would take a deep breath, hold on to the bill firmly, and say, I am a magnet for infinite abundance. The first few weeks were challenging. I could barely feel the truth in that affirmation. However, as I practiced, something started to change within me. The most remarkable thing was not just the increase in my bank account, but the peace that slowly took over my heart. After a few weeks, I noticed opportunities arising from where I least expected. A coworker invited me to participate in a project that earned me an unexpected bonus. Months later, an old, long-standing debt was paid due to an administrative error that I wouldn't have to cover. The feeling of transformation was astounding. Every time I held a bill or even my credit card, I now felt gratitude. Money ceased to be an object of fear and became a symbol of freedom and opportunities. I'm learning to trust life's flow and live with confidence. This practice wasn't just about money, it was about transforming my inner self. Account 2. Linda Ramirez, 45 years old, Seattle, Washington. Hi, my name is Linda Ramirez, and I'd like to share how the 7-second ritual radically changed my relationship with money. At 45 years old, I had already faced financial ups and downs that tested not just my wallet, but my self-esteem as well. For years, the fear of scarcity loomed over me like a constant shadow. That's when I discovered Florence Scovel Shinn's teaching about simply holding money and visualizing it as a magnet for abundance. Initially, I was skeptical. In my understanding, money was synonymous with struggle and worry, but I decided to give this ritual a chance, hoping it could provide me with a new perspective. In every interaction with money, whether paying a bill, shopping, or even just looking at my bank balance, I would take a moment to pause, breathe deeply, and affirm, I am a magnet for infinite abundance. At first glance, it seemed magical and a little exaggerated, but I committed to feeling each word. As time went by, I noticed something extraordinary happening. What had once been a constant struggle began to flow more smoothly. One day, while paying a bill, something urged me to ask for a special discount. The attendant smiled and agreed. I also received a freelance offer from a former client who had been inactive for months. More and more, the feeling of fear was replaced with confidence. Now, when I look at a bill, I feel a wave of gratitude. Money is no longer something that traps me. It's a tool I can use to create and enhance my freedom. This ritual was more than an exercise. It was the key to opening new doors in my life, both financially and emotionally. These transformative stories demonstrate the power of the ritual of affirming abundance when touching money. However, another essential question arises here. This ritual won't work if you maintain active negative beliefs. Imagine planting seeds of abundance while simultaneously continuing to plant seeds of scarcity. What will grow? A confusion that culminates in the stronger one. Therefore, it is crucial to identify and release limiting beliefs that may sabotage your progress. But here's where another essential question comes into play. This ritual will not work if you keep negative beliefs active. Imagine that you are planting seeds of abundance, but at the same time, you continue to plant seeds of scarcity. What will grow? A confusion that culminates in the stronger one. Words like, I'm broke, money isn't for me, and I can never save anything need to be replaced. Consider creating a list of transformative affirmations. For example, instead of saying, I am out of money, you could affirm, I am preparing to receive more. Instead of money disappears, say, money circulates and returns multiplied. This simple swap radically changes the game, as each phrase represents a command to the universe. And if you ask yourself, what if I don't believe the phrase at first? Does that hinder me? The answer is no. Belief is a process that builds through repetition. Think of how we learn any new skill. At first, everything feels strange or distant, but the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. As you allow yourself to go through the experience and integrate it into your daily life, repetition transforms this new language into part of your being, until what once felt fictional is now concrete reality. By adopting these practices, you begin to rewrite your own story. The process of mental reprogramming generates a new narrative about who you are in relation to money. You become the central figure not only in your life journey, but also in your relationship with abundance. So, invest time and energy in that 7-second ritual. Every interaction with money, from the simplest to the most complex, transforms into a new opportunity for manifestation. Remember that you are the protagonist of this story, and the way you choose to approach each aspect of it will determine your future. The path is yours, and the transformation begins when you decide you deserve to live in a continuous state of abundance. Let's delve even further into the ideas presented, expanding concepts of faith, gratitude, neuroscience, and their relationship with money, along with practical examples and reflections that aid in internalizing these practices. Here's the enhanced version of your text. Faith works in surprising ways, reflecting one of the central principles of Florence Scovel Shinn's teachings. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. When it comes to abundance, faith doesn't need to be unshakable from the start. It builds gradually. It's like planting a seed. In the beginning, You may not see visible results, but with practice and care, the true nature of faith emerges, and it's this genuine feeling that empowers every ritual or practice you adopt. A powerful combination that boosts this ritual is gratitude. Imagine holding money, a coin, a bill, or even a bank statement, and affirming, "I am a magnet for infinite abundance." Then mentally add a thank you. This simple gesture is not just a formality. It is a powerful declaration of recognition. It's as if you're saying, "I have already received, I am already blessed." This vibration of gratitude activates a cycle of abundance, where the universe responds, bringing even more reasons for you to be thankful. Considering advancements in neuroscience, studies show that the human brain is shaped by repetition. What you repeat, you strengthen. If you spend years affirming that you have no money, that belief transforms into an illusory and almost unquestionable mantra. The good news: the brain is plastic. It can be reshaped at any age. The regular practice of the 7-second ritual creates new neural pathways. At first, these new roots are delicate, like a narrow path in the forest. But as you continue to repeat and reinforce your affirmations, that path transforms into a wide and clearly marked road. When this happens, thinking of abundance becomes an automatic response. You no longer need to force it. It's already part of your identity. Science reflects what Florence called the law of attraction. Both approaches, scientific and spiritual, converge in essence. What you repeat, feel, and believe, you attract and manifest in your life. Now, how can you apply this knowledge practically in your daily life? Here's a challenge. For 7 days, every time you touch money, whether a coin, a bill, or even a credit card, practice the ritual. Hold it for 7 seconds, take a deep breath, and mentally say, "I am a magnet for infinite abundance." To enhance this, add, "Thank you, universe, for allowing money to flow freely in my life." Keep a journal of your experiences. Note small opportunities, unexpected savings, gifts, or feelings of lightness. What matters is not the monetary value, but the confirmation that the flow of abundance is beginning to manifest. It's crucial to reiterate that the ritual does not replace action. It simply prepares your mind to act effectively. Often people become paralyzed because they can't see possibilities, but by changing your mental frequency, you start to notice opportunities that were previously invisible. It's like tuning into the right radio station. The scarcity station only transmits fear, limitation, and lack. In contrast, the abundance station is filled with confidence, ideas, and solutions. The ritual acts as an adjustment of your frequency, and once you're tuned into the right channel, your decisions become more assertive. You attract people aligned with your goals and position yourself to amplify your success. Have you noticed that successful people often have rituals related to money? Some practice tithing, others donate, or establish habits of gratitude. This behavior is not merely symbolic. It's a way to keep the flow of money circulating and reinforce the energy of abundance. The 7-second ritual, while simple, is an accessible way for anyone to align with the flow of prosperity. It's essential to remember that money is not just a piece of paper. It is a form of living energy. It directly responds to how you treat it. If you handle it with fear or anger, it tends to pull away. However, when you treat it with love, respect, and confidence, it flows, grows, and returns multiplied. We've reached the end of this journey, but what you've learned so far is not a distant concept merely for reflection. It's a call to action, an invitation to transform the way you live, think, and act regarding money. The 7-second ritual is practical, accessible, and can be implemented right now, without requiring more than your willingness to change. Florence Scovel Shinn stated that scarcity is not the lack of things, but the lack of faith. When you feel paralyzed, it's not due to a real scarcity of resources, but rather the paralysis of fear of insufficiency, loss, or inadequacy. Fear is the root of scarcity, creating invisible blockages that obstruct the natural flow of life. Observe nature, trees that bear thousands of fruits, rivers that flow ceaselessly, countless stars in the sky. Abundance is present in every corner. Scarcity is a construct we nourish within ourselves. The 7-second ritual serves as a break from this vicious cycle. It is the opportunity to pause, breathe, and reprogram your mind. Understand that every moment you practice the ritual represents a new seed being planted. Changes may not be immediately visible, but just like a seed that sprouts at the right time, the results will come. Many give up before noticing these changes because they expect instant transformations. Think about how a plant grows. You plant it, water it, and care for it, and only then do you see the first sprouts. This ritual acts in a similar way. Initial results may appear as small changes, an unexpected discount, a new opportunity, and these signs indicate that the seed is sprouting. Visualize yourself after incorporating this new habit into your daily routine. Imagine opening your wallet, looking at a bill, and feeling peace, confidence, and joy. When paying a bill, envision yourself smiling, knowing that money is fulfilling its purpose and will return in abundance. When your relationship with money transforms, other areas of your life begin to change. Scarcity is not limited to finances. It reflects in relationships, opportunities, health, and your self-perception. By eliminating the pattern of scarcity, you make room for abundance in all aspects. You don't have to believe blindly. Try an experiment for 7 days. Observe how you feel and what changes occur around you. This is a simple invitation. Open the door to abundance. The ritual is the key. At the end of this period, keep 3 powerful phrases in mind. Money is energy and responds to my faith. I am a magnet for infinite abundance. Each coin that passes through my hands is a seed of prosperity. Write them on a piece of paper, place them on your mirror or in the back of your wallet. The more you repeat them, the stronger your new programming will become. Florence Scovel Shinn said that life is a game, and words are your magic wand. You already hold the power to create abundance or scarcity in your hands. The choice is yours. Decide to use your words to create wealth, security, and fulfillment. The 7-second ritual is your starting point. It is simple, quick, and powerful. More importantly, it depends on your action and intention. Remember, abundance is not a distant destination. It already exists within you. Awaken it, nourish it, and let it flow freely. In our next conversation, we will discuss the challenges of receiving money and how to prevent these challenges from sabotaging your prosperity. Prepare for a new level of understanding, and in the meantime, practice, experiment, and discover how 7 seconds can be the key to unlocking the doors of infinite abundance. I thank you for joining me on this journey towards abundance and personal transformation. I hope the stories and teachings presented here have resonated in your heart and inspired positive changes in your life. Now it's your turn to take action. What practices will you implement today to cultivate abundance in your routine? What limiting beliefs are holding you back and need to be confronted? If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe for more inspirations, and share it with friends who might also benefit. I look forward to hearing your stories and suggestions for topics you'd like to explore in our next conversations. Together, let's create a fertile space for growth and prosperity. Let's take this step together.